Hi, great everyone, my name is Eugene and today we will have an analysis of the largest investment company BlackRock. I wish you a pleasant viewing and we are starting. BlackRock is the largest asset management company in the United States, with 9.5 trillion in assets under management. BlackRock was established in 1988. One of the founders was Larry Fink, who is still the CEO of the company. BlackRock currently employs approximately 16,500 employees in over 30 countries around the world. The company serves clients from more than 100 countries, provides a wide range of investment management and technology services for institutional and retail clients. BlackRock Corporation divides its businesses into two segments, analytical and investment, and they are represented by the following types of services. Analytical is the investment and risk management consulting division of BlackRock. In fact, most of the company rigorous activity is precisely financial analytics and risk analysis. Clients are both institutional and private investors. In 2009, the US government hired BlackRock to deal with the aftermath of the global crisis. For this, a department for communications with the government was created within the company. BlackRock was chosen not only for its huge experience and unprecedented amount of funds, but also for its asset liability and debit and derivatives investment network computer system, the platform which is abbreviated as Aladdin. Assesses the risks of investment and is engaged in theoretical testing of various assets. Aladdin can predict how an asset will behave in a given situation, or what happens if an unexpected political event occurs. Aladdin is a network of charts, algorithms, predictive models, and 25 million lines of code that predicts the potential and vulnerabilities of a current transaction, and the Aladdin risk assessed system is recognized as one of the best on the market. That is why it is used by such influential organizations as Deutsche Bank and the largest US mortgage agency. In the investment segment, there are three main areas of the corporation's activity. The first direction exchange trades funds of ETF funds. The total number of ETF funds owned by the corporation is more than 1,000. The second direction is mutual investment funds, BlackRock mutual funds, while the last direction is closed-end funds. And it turns out the BlackRock investment activity cover all areas of the modern economy, but still I propose to dwell in more detail on ETF funds. ETFs are by far the most popular trading instrument on the stock exchange, and our company operates a family of exchange trades funds. ETFs iShares are now the most popular ETFs around the world. And in fact, the popularity of ETFs continues to grow, so BlackRock is certainly getting a huge influx of new clients. And most likely this trend will continue because the ETF concept is most convenient for people who don't particularly want to delve into the stock markets and accordingly received a salary in their process. Save 10 or 20%, choose a certain set of funds, for example the iShares S&P 500 ETF, which follows the S&P 500 index. At the same time, it has a commission of only 0.03% per year, and let's say iShares MSCI Emerging Market with servicing 0.66% per year, and invest it and then get yourself passive income. That's not a fairy tale. Yes, of course, the profitability of their funds is equal to the profitability of the index, but accordingly the risks are much less than with active investment. Therefore, for people who don't know anything about the ETF stock markets, this is the best choice. Therefore, in the near future, I think ETF will only become more popular. BlackRock has captured not only a significant portion of the American but also the global market for asset management services. To give you a rough idea of the size and greatness of BlackRock, there are about 103 trillion in asset management industry, and our company has assets under management of about $9.5 trillion, which is about 9%, which is just incredible. And for example, Bloomberg magazine has characterized BlackRock as the world's largest shadow financial conglomerate. And the former chairman of the board of the US Federal Reserve, Bert Paul Volcker, called BlackRock the most powerful corporation in the world. So BlackRock owns stakes in almost all of the largest companies in the world. For example, Apple, BlackRock has more than 6%, in Microsoft almost 7%, in Google almost 6%, in the former Facebook Meta about 5.5%, the same share, and at Jeff Bezos' Amazon. But as I said earlier, the influence of BlackRock has long spread outside the United States, so it owns almost 5.5% in Daimler, more than 6.5% in Adidas, and 6.5% in the Japanese company Sony, and in the Korea giant Samsung the share reaches almost 5%. And in fact, if you look at almost any large company in the world, most likely BlackRock will have a significant share in it. In general, I think now you understand how great the power of this corporation is. But even in spite of this, the company has quite serious competitors, and it is not a monopolist in the market. The biggest and largest competitor of BlackRock is the well-known company Vanguard Group, founded by John Bogle, who created the first index fund. Now the company manages almost $8.5 trillion, which is quite close to the assets under management of BlackRock Corporation, and less than our company by only 10%. Also among the significant competitors are UBS Group with assets under management in the amount of almost $4.5 trillion and Fidelity Investment with assets under management of about $4.2 trillion. Since our company is one of the main players, it manages trillions of dollars in assets. This allows BlackRock to offer commissions below many competitors. After all, the cost of an ETF with 1 billion in assets are about the same as a fund with 100 billion in assets. Yes, in the event of a price war, the profitability of BlackRock Corporation may suffer, but in the end this company will be one of the winners. Therefore, in spite of powerful and experienced competitors that have been on the market for much longer than BlackRock, the company still remains the leader for the last few years, and it looks like it intends to maintain its leadership, and the company has all the resources for this. Interim conclusion in the analysis of the business structure, then I want to note that while the company retains positive factors in the market that will allow the company to grow in the future. Well, now we finally go to the financial indicators of the company. We start as always with the dynamics of income. As we can see, both the revenues and the net profit of the company are growing. So from 2010 to 2020, the revenue increased from 8.6 billion to $16.2 billion. That is by 88%, and the net profit increased from $2 billion to $5 billion. That's an increase of 2.5 times, in quite impressive. For future periods, analysts predict annual revenue growth of 7% and net profit by almost 10%, which is pretty good. About the geography of revenues, I would like to note that almost 65% of the company's revenues come from America, about 30% to the European region, and 5 or 7% to the Asia Pacific region. That is, business revenues are quite diversified. The free cash flow of the company has a growth trend. Next, let's move on to the balance sheet of the company. Here I would like to say that the company is increasing its net share capital, but unfortunately not too fast. But as for the business debit, many may think that it is very large in the company at the level of 78% after all, but in fact there is nothing critical here. In principle, this is a feature of financial companies, and BlackRock can easily cope with covering interest on its obligations. After all, the interest coverage indicator is about 35, which indicates that the company has no problems with debits and that the company uses reasonable leverage. The company also pays dividends, but the yield is quite modest, 1.8% on the invested capital, but the company spends only 43% of its profit on dividends, which is quite safe. The company is also very actively increasing the same dividends by 12.5% annually, which is a very good growth in dividend yield. It is also worth noting that the company produces, although not regular, but still buyback of shares. And for the last 3 quarters, the company has bought back shares worth about $300 million. The buyback of shares increases our stake in the company as shareholders. Therefore, in any case, even such small buyback is a positive moment, and in the future I hope to increase the cost of buyback. Well, we finally got to the indicators of the company's value here. In fact, I would like to note that the company is far from cheap. Let's say PE ratio is 24. That is, the company pays for its value or capitalization with its net profit in 24 years, which is quite a bit. Forward P ratio about 21, which is certainly better but still quite expensive. In general, if we talk about a fair assessment of the company that is engaged in asset management, then this is a P ratio at level of 14 or 16. But since the BlackRock company is the leader in the market, its fair assessment can be considered at the level of P ratio somewhere around 17 or 18. That is, now we understand that the company is quite overbought. I would like to note that I really like the BlackRock business and I believe that it will only develop, but the current valuation of the company, as for me, is too high. And I would take a closer look on BlackRock shares at this stock at the level of about $700 per share. When such a price is reached, these assets will be very attractive. Well, my dear friends, it's all for today. Subscribe to my channel and give me a likes. Thank you very much for your watching. Goodbye and arrivederci.